Paranoid Radio.
Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid.
Paranoid. Tony boy.
Paranoid. I'm paranoid. I'm paranoid. Bitch, I'm paranoid. I'm paranoid. I'm paranoid. I'm paranoid. Bunch of paranoid.
Testicles, 1, 2, testicles. Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. This is Paranoid Radio Podcast. Please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Trebles Garcia, and I am the humble host of this amazing show. This is the best show with the best content for the best listeners. You, by far. There's no other. Ladies and gentlemen, I have an amazing episode lined up for you guys. As a matter of fact, it's a collaboration between K4V3 podcast. You will remember them from our season finale show of season 4. As a matter of fact, now they had us featured on their show. This is not even my episode. This episode belongs with K4V3, and it's also featured on K4V3, K4V3.com. Make sure you check us out. Joe, Rizzi, and Danny, massive shout outs for you guys allowing us to be on your show. And I want to give thanks to your listeners for tuning in and enjoying and opening up their hearts as well. Your platform, opening doors to your platform means everything to me, and you guys collaborate with me also means the world to us. Paranoid Radio Podcast is not available on all podcast platforms. Make sure you check us out on paranoidradio.com, and you could also drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It's absolutely free. It helps other people enjoy the show as much as we enjoy making it. Ladies and gentlemen, I also want to give thanks to every single new collaborator, every single new listener, every single person that hops on Instagram and gives us a follow and is interacting in the comment section. I also want to give a personal special thanks to Gus Bust. Gus Bust is not only a person that dropped the 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, but is deliberately a livid listener of the show, supporter, friend, and colleague. Thank you so much, Gus Bust. You know who you are. Thank you so much. This episode, or featurette episode, is dedicated to you on our end. Now, ladies and gentlemen, moving forward with the show, I want you guys to enjoy the main conversation. We go deep on COVID, the pandemic. We go deep in testimonies. We go deep in 33 Masonry. We also talk about a little bit about World War II. And then we go in deep about DeSantis and Trump by the end of the night. So make sure you stay tuned to Paranoid Radio Podcast and give K4V3 a massive shout out and a follow and a listen on K4V3.com. You can also find them and their links on paranoidradio.com. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to give you guys another round of applause. You guys believe it. You guys need it. You guys deserve it. And I want to thank you guys again for joining us. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Loopy-doop, loop. Here we go. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. It's your boy Joe Rizzi, and I'm here with Danny, aka Abrasumente, coming from the cave, bringing to you the Cave Podcast. And before we get started, I just want to remind you guys to check out the website, cave.com. That's K4V3.com. Check out our blogs. Go buy some merch. And check out Trebles Garcia from Paranoid Radio when this podcast comes out, because we'll spotlight them on the website. So without further ado, let's get started. I think you're the other guy's joining in too, right?
Yeah, he'll be joining in.
He'll be joining us. Let me preface that. I don't know if Proper will be coming in, but hey, man, it's the cave. You never know who's going to drop in. You know what I'm saying? So, Trebles, what's up, man?
What's up, everybody? What is going on, everybody? I am Trebles Garcia, and here at Cave Podcast, I am the host of Paranoid Radio Podcast, and I want to thank the Lord for allowing me to be here today, first of all. And second of all, I want to thank you guys for opening up your platform and your listeners for taking a listen today.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, how did Paranoid Radio start? How did you get into the podcast world? What sparked your interest?
Check this out, dude. When we were in high school, so I'm 32 years old. I'm a 90s baby, and I graduated out of high school in 09. So ever since we were in high school, gangs weren't for me. Parties weren't for me, even though I was good at them. Drugs and drinking wasn't for me, even though I did it as well. But it didn't captivate me. It didn't feel me. It didn't give me a sense of purpose. Then the conspiracies hit the world. We were awakened. We were looking at the chemtrails. We were thinking about earthquakes and volcanoes. And the movie 2012 came in, and we were just like, getting filled up. And I always had that need to conversate and wake other people up. So about 3 years ago, 162 episodes away from ago. Big Tank and I started this podcast, and we reunited. I know Big Tank, which is the best co-host on the fucking planet. He's my co-host there at Paranoid. We started the podcast as a passion, as a hobby, and now it's grown to be one of my babies. I cannot breathe without thinking Paranoid. I breathe, I shit, I eat Paranoid, and I do it absolutely for free, bro. We don't sell anything. We don't promote anything. All we do is wake people up. I dive deep into research, and I get a kick off making other people learn. My coworkers, my colleagues, people like you, and networking with great people like you guys. So it's just Paranormal Radio Podcast is a passion. It's a passionate podcast based. It revolves around the paranormal activity, conspiracies, deep state conspiracies. We have segments. We have Flashy Fridays, which is deep state talk about the government and the political climate, and we bring in serial killers. We bring in freaking Loch Ness Monster. We bring in Bigfoot. We've done Disney. We've done so much shit. So make sure you check out Paranoid Radio Podcast and paranoidradio.com. But do not forget the D. We have enough D to go around. Paranoidradio.com.
Hell yeah.
That's it.
So the thing about conspiracy theories, and we could talk about, like, 2020 was kind of a very vital year
Absolutely.
in that field, right? When you go open about that stuff, sometimes there's no going back, right?
Yeah.
And what we found out about 2020, it gets really extreme to the point where sometimes it causes a rift even in your family, right?
Yeah.
Tell me about your experiences, and we can all share ours about when we finally decided, hey, all right, I think something's up, you know what I mean? And I'm going to speak about it and raise awareness, and then having to kind of navigate through the friction coming back from the family and some of your friends.
July 2020. I was living in Huntington Park, California, in the county of LA. And I had just started thinking about creating this podcast. Mm-hmm. What happened was I lived with my wife, and it's gonna be it's a long story. I'm cut to the main points.
Yeah,
my grandfather-in-law lived with us, dog, and he caught COVID. Now we were all essential workers. My wife already has lupus, so I've been living in a household where we're almost all sick. I'm diabetic, so we have people that are sick in the house. So we have to be very careful. Now, first of all, the very first thing that struck me was the fear mongering within the older generation. Now, this guy is 78 years old, and he's still working full time, dog. Mm-hmm. What happens is he gets caught with COVID, and then I take him to the general hospital. Then the general hospital takes him to Tarzana, which is in San Fernando Valley. 2 days after we put him in the hospital, they called me. I was dashing to TJ, bro, because TJ, they saw all the steroids, all the shit, like off the counter. Yeah. So I'm driving to TJ, dog, with my wife, and we're like fucking, praying and shit, like he doesn't die. Mm-hmm. And this is July 2020, dog. They call me on the phone and they tell me, Angel, yeah, guess what? You know what? He's really sick. He's already an elder. Do you want us to put him to sleep, or do you want us to fight for his life? I was like, no, wait, dog. I was on the fucking car, bro, and I had to pull over to the side, bro, turn on the fucking emergency lights, and I'm like, can you repeat that again? She goes, do you want us to, put him to sleep because he's already older, let him rest, or you want him to fight for his life? I'm like, look, you stupid bitch. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. If you we wanted him to fucking die, we would have kept him at home, and he would have died at home with us. Yeah. We don't want him to die. We took him to the hospital so you could fight for him. He has insurance. He has money. Don't trip. Do it. Mm-hmm. So 4 months later, they put plasma in him, and he survived, and he's still kicking today. He's 82 years old, and he's still working full time. So you see what I'm saying, dog? Yeah. They were trying to fucking kill him. He told us a testimony where they were giving the respirators to other young people while the old people were dying. They were focusing on depopulating the older generation so that they could stop paying all the fucking social securities, and they would stop with the burden of having older generation here. Also, not only that, but I have a theory. I also think that the older generation has the power to vote in to Donald Trump again. So what they did is, maybe they didn't steal the election. I don't want to go that deep, but I do want to say that they manipulated the numbers by destroying the generation that are more conservative. And that's all I'm gonna leave it as that. But that's what really woke me up to fucking start talking about this shit, dog.
Damn. All right. Yeah. There's a lot to unpack there, and you guys ready for this shit or what? I told Danny before this, hey, I want this to be, I don't give a shit if this doesn't make it on YouTube, I want this to be like a raw, because I mean, based on our last
Yeah.
episode, dog, you know what I mean? We vibe, so let's make this
And
raw.
I apologize
you know
for
what I mean?
I apologize for the explicit language. I'll try to keep
Nah,
it cool.
nah, bro. You
We
set
all
the
speak
tone,
French
brother.
here.
You set the tone. You set the tone. But dude, I have to say, I'm pretty connected in the medical field. And,
Okay.
talking to a lot of people there during COVID, dude. Sometimes they wouldn't call family members to switch the advanced directive. And what I mean by advanced directive, it's in the case of your heart rate stopping, like, do we either just let you die naturally, or do you want us to do CPR and put you on a respirator? It's called DNR. It means do not resuscitate, right? So typically, if you go unconscious and you can't make that decision, they call your next of kin, right? Whether it's your daughter, your wife, your son, mom or dad, right? And then they decide whether or not to resuscitate you or just let you die naturally. But during COVID, since things were really busy, they weren't even calling family members anymore. They were deciding based on whether you were old,
Your probability,
but whether you what your diagnosis or diagnoses are, you know what I mean, and kind of triaging you based on that. So, hey man, it's hard because with stories like yours that you need to really put out there and people really need to hear and be aware of. And there's a lot more stories like that when we talk about the vaccines. Those stories are being hidden. Those stories are being discredited. You know what I mean? And conspiracy theory too. They're probably hits on those people. You know what I mean? Obviously, like that story is bad for profit. You know what I mean? And for the movement. So
Let me ask you something. I know this is your testimony, but since you're well connected, is it true that the county was paying each they were paying per bed that people would die in at the hospitals? So it was profitable for the hospital to have more deaths. Is that true, or it's just a fucking conspiracy theory? Again, you see, I question even my own people, dog. I'm a conspiracy theorist at heart, but I question even that, because if it's just a theory in the fucking ether, right? If there's no factual, tangible paperwork, document, data that we could read and then put out, right? Like, why are you spitting that at me? So I question everything, dog. I challenge the reality one episode at a time.
So okay, I'm just gonna say this is what I heard. All right, so you can't, I wish I was a rapper so I could just rap about this shit and just be like, hey, I was just rapping. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, word.
But this is a podcast, so I'm just talking shit. You know what I mean? But let me tell you what I heard based on what I know, right?
Word.
And I'm nobody. You know what I mean? I heard they get a kickback and they get profit for putting people on ventilators. And you can look this up. You know what I mean? If I'm wrong, then hit me on the comments or hit me up on Twitter and say, hey, you're wrong, bro. I'm open to learning. You know what I mean?
Same here.
I heard that there's a I don't know if it's a vaccine, but it was a drug called remdesivir, right? Which is supposed to help with COVID. They also get, obviously, a kickback for trying that medication out, right?
Okay.
And then they obviously get a kickback for treating patients with COVID. So if you have a COVID death, then that's also like, you get funded by the government, because it's like, hey, we treated COVID, we treated this amount of numbers, so we get this amount of money or kickbacks that you're getting.
So it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter you went in because you had lung cancer. It doesn't even matter if you died because of lung cancer. It matters if within you having lung cancer, you also had COVID.
You're medically cooking the books, if you get what I'm saying. You know what I mean? You're crunching numbers to try to get the most tax return.
It's
so to speak. You know what I'm saying?
A money grab.
There are cases. Not worldwide, but in the country where that's what happened. Like Trebles was saying, people would come in with lung cancer, but just the fact that they were tested positive for COVID, it's like, oh no, they died because of COVID.
And even the test for the COVID is not even meant to pick up COVID. I mean, I'm just going based off conspiracy
theories. Let's talk about that too. So there's a lot of fucking false positive tests, bro. You know what I'm saying?
So that's real.
Yeah, that is very real. You know what I mean? And the numbers for that is out. They're out. Like, look it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you have a false positive, you get put in like a containment room, you know, or a room that's just strictly COVID patients. So whether or not you get COVID that way, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or it's like, hey, I'm fine, man. I don't have COVID. Yeah, dude, shut up. Like you're positive. It says you're positive. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Now think about that experience. That's fucking scary, bro.
Yeah. You know, also, dog, that the insurance companies, a lot of the insurance companies went to fucking, they broke. They had no more money left over because so many people were on it. For example, the older gentleman, my grandfather-in-law, he has good insurance, dog. He has a good job and everything. The dude comes up and he squeezed the fuck out of his insurance companies. They had to give him more Medicare for somewhere. I don't know, somewhere the state paid. But the point is, the state's not gonna break. The state's not gonna ask for. They're never gonna say that they're broke. But the insurance companies are, which then their debt goes to Vanguard and BlackRock, which then they own the rest of the debt, which then they own your pocket. So it's kind of like a transfer of power also, bro. It wasn't only that they were taking down the older generation. It was all a money grab. Why is it? Now, the biggest question that I started seeing while this was happening was, why is it that the mom and pop shop down the corner that sold the socks and the pro clubs that I wear on a daily basis had to close down, but fucking Walmart was still selling clothes? I don't get it. You see what I'm saying? I had to go to Walmart to buy me my t-shirts, et cetera, and et cetera. So yeah, no, it's a transfer of wealth.
Yeah. Also, like,
it really was. Go
ahead.
Easy. No, I was gonna just say, definitely you started seeing that gap and how people were. You know how years ago, and even people talk about the wage gap, there's a little truth to that if you see it, because like you mentioned, the big companies, big corporations were able to continue to work, build a company in mom and pop shops or restaurants and such. They had to shut down. They lost their business. So not so much the wage gap, but like just the gap of wealth between big corporations and just everyday people trying to make ends meet,
Yeah,
absolutely.
They definitely widened the gap between the two. And the thing about us, like Danny and I were super duper into conspiracy theories like early on, probably like around the time.
What made you stop? Like, why'd you guys stop?
Like Ron Paul, right, Danny? Like around Ron Paul's like final run.
Ron Paul,
yeah. And then
in 2000,
bro, this shit goes deep, and it's like it's kind of like, it's like, damn, man, I haven't slept. I've been going down this rabbit hole so long, and it's like people think I'm crazy, you know what I mean? But the thing is, when 2020 happened, it's like, man, that shit is real, bro. We were right, you know what I mean? So now it's kind of like the prodigal son, you know what I mean? Like, hey, my bad, that shit's true, you know what I mean? But no, like going back to what we were talking about, like families start rejecting you kind of and judging you based on what you think. Like there's a lot, like I said, my family is really deeply rooted in the medical field too. So when it came down to the vaccines, you know what I mean?
Ouch.
Like it became like, well, what you think the vaccines are like a bioweapon or
almost taboo?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, almost taboo.
Yeah, and it's like, no, I'm not saying all that, but I'm just kind of hesitant. There's not a lot of like if you break it down and you just spit factual like disputes about it, you almost get villainized because of that. You know what I mean? Low-key a psyop.
It's fear. It's fear, dog. It's fear. It's fear. It started fear. Love, I'm gonna tell you something. This is what I said in my last fucking episode on rehab. I said love is the most strongest human force on this fucking planet, dog. Emotion. That's what it is. It makes you save your kids off under a fucking car. It makes you pick up the car with one single-handedly. It gives you adrenaline rush. It gives you the power to go be a toxic ass woman, a toxic ass man. It gives you the ability to fucking to move mountains, dog. Love and faith, dog. When they corrupt love and faith and they inject fear to replace it, fool, when there's no love, when God is not present, guess what moves in? Anything that anybody can implement you. They don't even only tell you what to think, how to think, who to be, but they also tell you and show you what to fear. And the thing is that fear is so contradicting because it makes you act a certain way. It makes you go against the people that you fucking love. And then also you're asking for it. What's the fucking syndrome? Stockholm syndrome? You fall in love with your kidnapper. You fall in love with the person that's showing you the most fucking fear. And the government has fine-tuned propaganda so fucking well that you can never fucking beat it. That there's no atomic bomb the size of damage, the size that damage can do what propaganda could do. If that makes sense. If I didn't word it right correctly, I'm sorry. I speak fucking languages. It's propaganda could fucking demolish the brain setting of any humankind, specifically the docile ones, and specifically the people that are barely learning, like our children.
That's facts, man. I mean, like I said, I brought up Edward Bernays on your podcast, remember?
Yes, sir.
And I don't know if you looked into him, but bro, I think the former CEO of Netflix was like his grandnephew. You know what I mean? So talk about like a main tool for propaganda. Like, what are people on right now? People are on Netflix more than they are on like cable TV or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Netflix is almost like a basic asset or basic component of like social life now. You know what I mean? Bernays, a fucking relative of Bernays. You don't think they're using the psychoanalyst data or methods that they were using back then? I mean, that goes to what we want to talk about like the grooming kind of movement too. You know what I mean?
It's sigil, Matt. Look, there's layers to this. There's layers to how. There's two questions. Do you, like you said, right? The answer to your question is, I do think that it's passed down to generation, the method on how to create, and then what comes next, and how to stay in power. That's it's kind of like incest. The people stayed in power by having their own children, children, right? Okay, so it's the same thing, same mentality, just avoiding the sex part. Now, there's also magic, bro. There's these. I won't call them elites, but I want to call them. I want to call them the powerful ones, right? The people that have the money, the people that have the most of the wealth, the most of your debt, basically. At least in the United States, these people know what power of symbol has. If I had right here, right now, an all-seeing eye, an impact will be psychologically in your brain. It would make you behave some type of way. It'll make you think something else. It'll make you feel a certain way. Symbols have power. This is why the United States dollar, the $1 hasn't been changed for the past, I want to say 50 to 60 years, because it has power. The symbols on it, the words on it, even the Roman florals on it, everything is designed to impact you in a way and keep you, I want to say, not in control, but intrigued. Yeah, and as long as they have your attention, they got everything else, dog. Because they'll submit they'll make you submit. But I honestly think that, for example, he's connected to Bernays, and Netflix is at the height that it's at now. And even if they put out weak media, weak productions, they still have some impact and control over the people. And even if they don't have it, let's say that they've been lying about their numbers, the propaganda makes them seem like they're fucking giant. So there's no bad publicity here, dog. They have you coming and going. You know, Kiss used to sell, I don't know if I told you guys this, Kiss, the band, they used to sell coffins and condoms with their faces on them. They got you coming and going, dog. Left and right.
Oh, shit, that's funny.
Word, dog. It's left and right. Propaganda, marketing, that's all it is, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Absolutely.
I think propaganda and marketing, as far as like to the elite level, is borderline sigil magic. You know what I mean? And you know, we have the homie that comes on to our podcast every now and then, Juan from the Juan podcast. he always talks about movies and pictures being an advanced form of sigils and symbols. He calls it cinemagic. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So instead of just one symbol, you're watching a movie, and watching a movie conveys an experience. You know what I mean? It evokes an emotion.
Yes,
creates
sir.
Fear. Either makes it manipulates your love. You end up falling in love with some people you don't even give a fuck about, to the point where, oh no, ex so and so died, and like you know, you start crying over a celebrity who doesn't even give a fuck about you, who might have been to the island. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And it causes trauma. Even you, for example, right now you're wearing that mask on.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, people are like mysterious. Who is this guy? Well, let me see. Wait. Oh, the cave. Oh, the way you worded cave, K4V3, etc. See, it's all like, I'm not saying you go back to sigil magic, but it's the same impact impact on the public. You get what I'm saying? It imprints on people.
I
You're
get
like,
you, bro.
I gotta, you got my attention. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, I got the cross here, so I'm using like esoteric magic, bro. So
Bam, 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 bam. I believe it.
Why do you think I got you in the podcast, bro?
I believe it. I believe it 100%, dog. Dog, I believe it, dog. I believe it. I'm riding the wave, dog.
Oh man,
Shit, man.
no, that's something funny. That's something that Danny and I always talk about too, like magic with a K. You know what I mean? And like Aleister Crowley type shit. And talking about like symbols and stuff, like the U.S. dollar. First of all, like there's a lot of weird stuff on there that like people don't even question. And like if you get into conspiracy theories and stuff, the first. Like look at the dollar bill, first of all, you know what I mean? And maybe that will be your gateway drug into it, you know what I mean? But
You carry it in your pocket every single day, dog. All these people have it. Like, how do you not look at the dollar and question what the fuck it's saying? Like, question every little detail. Like, at least question how would they get the details on the dollar, because it's so detailed. Like, it's a piece of paper that you worship, and you're worshiping a piece of paper. Let that be your gateway. But let that be your door. Like, how are you worshiping this piece of paper dollar? Like, how does it have any importance in your life? How is it changing your actions towards the people that you love? How is it replacing love? See, these are questions that maybe it doesn't have to be a conspiracy. Maybe it could lead to you maybe awakening, not being woke, awakening. So, yeah, brother.
Bro,
And
just
the
to
other
bring
thing
it.
I'll add about that dollar is that it's never yours, and as you can see, it's printed on it's property of the Federal Reserve. So that dollar is yours.
110%. I love that shit. I love that, Danny.
But they make it feels like it's yours, right? That's the magic of it. That's like the crazy thing about that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Which
yeah, talking
kinda
about
goes-
like symbols. No, go ahead, Danny.
No, I mean, then it has me thinking like cashless systems, so what it's in a way, everything's leading into that, possibly the crash of cryptocurrency, because they don't like that, how it's like, its own thing. And we could go into that later, but just something to think about.
You see how you opened one door with COVID and then it opened up like 3 to 4
How we get here, bro? How we get here?
That's the cave system, dog. It's the cave system.
It's easy to get lost in the cave sometimes, you know.
It is, dog. It is.
I gotta find my way back up. Wait, I went too deep there. Hold on.
We gotta reach the city of Amber, bro.
Straight up. No, but just to cap off sigils and magic, like, yeah, you're right. They use ancient symbols, and some people don't even know the reason or the meaning behind it.
Absolutely.
And they put their own meaning behind it. One thing I talked about back in, like, I went to a family birthday party or something, and they had these necklaces with the peace sign, right? You know, the peace sign, it's like, I'll throw it up right now, but it almost looks like a Y upside down and a line through it, right? So, peace sign. What does the peace sign represent? Right? No war.
Okay.
No war. Let's have peace, unity. Did you guys know that peace sign originated from inversely crucifying people? So it's a fucking pretty satanic type of symbol. You know what I mean? And it's been bastardized to be a peaceful thing.
Sigil magic.
You got little kids. I get into the party. You got little kids with these peace signs, and I went over there like, "Hey guys, I don't mean to sound like the crazy uncle, but snatch, get that shit out of there." You know what I'm saying?
Yo, in the 70s when the hippie movement was huge, the hippie movement was also kind of like the Black Panthers, was also injected with CIA operatives, and not only operatives but also serial killers that were taught how to manipulate people's minds through MK Ultra, etc. And MK Ultra is a real thing. Now, for example, what's his name? Not Aleister Crowley, the other dude, the dude that fucking danced all crazy. I mean, I did an episode on him. He had a posse of people. He was a cult leader. He recently came.
Charles Manson.
Meet
Oh,
Charlie.
Manson.
Yeah. So Charlie was one of those dudes. Charlie was going into jail for not only raping and killing and using drugs and selling drugs, but he was going into jail, and then immediately within 24 hours, a CIA black fucking operative would come in and liberate him, because he was part of a system that they were trying to implement on people. He was a key point of research for the CIA. the hippies knew this. A lot of the main hippie leaders knew this shit. A lot of the people are just manipulated and they're just following the trend and they feel like peace and love is what they need. But a lot of the protests, even now, bro, like the Black Panthers, Crips and Bloods used to be a political movement before they were fucking street banging idiots. That's just fact. Look it up. Crips and Bloods were a fucking government movement, dog. Before they became a fucking, drug dealing dealers, whatever it is. They were brotherhood. They were conjointed to make a cause against the man at that point. So everybody gets injected. It's what you just put up right now, the fucking symbol. Even peace like this is a 33-degree angle. When Churchill, I don't even know this shit. Like, this is 33 degrees. Like, when Churchill received the military men back from fucking World War II, and he was pointing out the fucking the V on them, he was pointing out a 33-degree angle because they were about to be in fucking power. The United States was in power at that point. The Freemasons.
Oh my God!
You didn't know that was a 33-degree angle, dog? That's 33 degrees, and then there's also 1, 2, 3 joints on your thing, and 1, 2, 3. What's it called? Knuckles. So 33. Yeah. It's crazy shit, dog.
Yeah, 33 is everywhere. And then Danny and I were talking about, we were starting to see 666 everywhere too.
I've been seeing that lately, no lies.
Yeah. It's a wild fucking, and these are not theories, dog. These are things that you could put in, just put it together, bro. Put it together.
The thing is, they're not theories. And we talked about Danny too, was like, we try not to even think about it anymore. And when it's all out there and you try not to think about it anymore, guess what? That's called subconscious programming. You know what I'm saying?
They normalize it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But no, you brought up an interesting point. Like, people talk about like the hippies and stuff. That might have been a mass scale MK Ultra movement. You know what I mean? Because people take LSD and stuff, and that's cool and all. But you're going to music festivals, and who do you think controls the media and the music, bro?
And the music, the tones, frequency, acoustic properties in the frequency that make you behave certain ways. Kind of like how they shatter a fucking glass. They would shatter your cells and your way of thinking and your emotional feelings. They'll make you behave a certain way. Again, going back to fucking manipulating what you are and who you are, dog. Yeah, bro. That's all it is, man.
I think what I'm getting, the theme is like a Trojan horse. That seems to be like the go-to play, proven in history, and like time and time again, it's just, just deceiving and offering a gift with an internal kind of poison seems to be the method. Because all these things you can smoke screen it around a good cause, right? But then in the main of it, like in the heart of it, the nucleus of it, it's kind of satanic. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Let me ask you a question. You said that you are well connected in the medical industry, and it's kind of like, I want to know, like, so is even the medical industry in it? Like, I know how doctors would be. They have a big debt on them. A lot of people that work in the industry have a big debt because they became doctors and they've been going to school for 8+ years, 12+ years to be a specialist and shit, and they owe so much money. Are these people automatically bought? They don't have a morale? What's your take on that, bro? Because, I mean, think about it, dog. The doctors had to be in it too, bro. They had to be in this whole...
So just like any field, like, let's say you get into sports, you get into Wall Street, you get into the medical field, there's a certain kind of vibe that you try to like acclimate to. You know what I mean? It's almost like peer pressure. Like, you get peer pressure to act a certain way. Let's say the vaccines, let's say during 2020, and that really highlighted it. You know what I mean? There's people that says, oh no, the CDC says this. And like I said, my experience on there, I used to see respectful doctors that I had high regards for because of their research and their way of thinking, just abandon all that and just go by what the CDC is saying. I'm like, wait, like, you know what I mean?
Your job is to research. Your job is science. You're a scientist. Like, aren't you supposed to do the research, and then aren't you supposed to challenge the narrative? Like, isn't that your job? Every scientist, that's how science got here. That's how innovation is. You challenge gravity. You challenge the whatever keeps you human. You want to grow. You want to evolutionize. You want to get out of the cave.
Straight up. And you don't ever want to ever take that personally. You know what I mean? Science is never to be taken personally. If anything, even if it's a wild data, it's like, oh, I can make a cool experiment to either prove this right or prove this wrong. It's never like, what, you think that? You know what I mean? It's like, okay, there's obviously attention and curiosity aimed towards this subject. Here, let's make a scientific advancement towards it that might lead into, or you know what I mean, branch off into different scientific advancements.
That's a big 10-4. Yep.
You know what I mean?
It kind of leads me to ask, though, like, do doctors nowadays, do do they just tend to patients as just their job and that's it, or are there still those doctors that do their research on the side, write their own articles, publish them with other boards? I guess you know what I'm saying.
There's an inner circle and like kind of like
levels to this shit. Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like obviously, if you go to Wall Street and the top guys are like out partying, fucking hookers and doing cocaine, and you're trying to go up there, you're probably gonna end up hanging out with them every night. Your wife's probably gonna be like, hey, I don't like you coming home, but baby, like I'm trying to advance, like I'm new and I'm trying to, make a name for myself, and these guys can get me. There's that stuff going on in the medical field too, right? And obviously it's all about the money, and like it's like, hey, why wouldn't you put so and so on remdesivir and just get a kickback and buy a fucking Corvette, or pay for the Airbnb property that you just got to pay that off? You know what I'm saying?
Boom, bombs.
So
Word.
I mean, not to be bad, there's dickheads in fucking the cop industry too, and law force. You know what I mean? It just sucks when your public outlook is you're supposed to be a healer, because there is actual holistic healers that try to heal people, and since you become the main avatar and the symbol for that, but really you're not, there's something kind of like nasty about that shit and disingenuine about it. You know what I mean? It's almost like wolf in sheep's clothing type of shit. So
I agree 100%.
Also,
110%.
I said this on the podcast too. It's like back then the highest metric of credibility used to be the religion heads, right? Like the priests. God said this. I know. I went on a spiritual journey and he told me. Now it's more scientists and doctors. Oh, the research says this. You don't believe in the math. Instead of proving it, they're like, oh no, they shame you, right? They pretty much witch hunt you.
I do have another question, just before we jump on to the next topic. Again, maybe you have a bit more insight on this. So in the medical industry, there's a symbol that dominates the medicine, right?
Shit! You talking about the snake?
The snake on the pole. So I did my research because I have this tattoo, dog, and I did my research on it, bro. Oh shit! So the Caduceus is Hermes' staff. Hermes is the god of protector of merchants, protector of the messenger god, and his staff has nothing to do with the medical industry or medicine at all. However, there is a medical god in Rome. I mean, in ancient Greece, that had a staff with one snake wrapped around him, which represented the healer, the medicine god, the god of doctors, the god of pharmaceuticals, etc., etc. And holistic healing, like you said. Now, I've noticed that in the industry, there's way offs. Like I've seen an ambulance with the Caduceus. Like I've also seen ambulances with the staff and one snake. Do you have any insight on that? Like, why is that happening? Why is there two symbols representing medicine? And is it two different gangs, two different cartels? Or does it go deeper? Is there a good pharmaceutical company, or a gang of good hospitals, or like you said, doctors that have a secret society within them? What is it, dog? Because it's confusing as fuck.
Honestly, I think I haven't gone down that rabbit hole, even though it is kind of in the heart of my of the field. You know what I mean? I heard that it has something to do with kind of balancing two forces and making it one, kind of, in order to yield something, kind of like magic. You know what I mean? You're able to use black magic and white magic in order to heal, and that makes you the healer, and that's kind of your Moses staff type of thing. You know what I mean?
Look into it. You got to look into it. The Caduceus versus the real medicine staff. It's weird, bro. It's a trip. It's a trip. I was like, what the fuck? Symbol against the fucking play on symbols and shit. Yeah.
But what I think also wasn't the Rockefeller trying to put oil into all the medicine, the pharmaceutical stuff, to try to maximize like profit?
I think the question is what doesn't have oil, dog? everything has oil, dog. Your toothpaste, everything you touch, everything is fucking either petroleum based or residue of petroleum and shit. Like we live in a petroleum era, dog. This is what it is, and they're never gonna get us out of it. At least not quietly.
Yeah, fucking A. Like, I think you meet a lot of holistic healers though, and some of them have been killed for showing that they can heal certain diseases. You know what I mean? So there's definitely a fraternity of bad, and there's definitely a fraternity of like it's like fucking Star Wars. You know what I mean? There's a Sith and there's obviously a Jedi, and in the midst of that, there's a middle gray Jedi path that uses both. And
Gray Jedis are not canon. Gray Jedis are not canon. No, man. Dog, I'm a Star Wars super freak, dog. Wait.
Oh, okay. Don't open this one up.
Don't open that.
We're gonna
I'm
go
a Star
deep.
Wars super freak, dog. It's not canon. No.
It's not canon, but you get the reference, though. You know what I mean? There's like a middle path too that kind of plays in between. And it's like, hey, you could use black, you could use white magic.
Are you a prequel? Are you a prequel fan or a trilogy fan?
You know what? I really loved. I'm gonna say the prequel fan. I'm a prequel.
Prequel, me too. The only reason I like it is for the prequels, and then I saw the trilogy, and I'm all in love. Yeah.
Okay. Yo, you started with the prequels.
I started with the prequels. Hell yeah, from a 90s kid. So in 1999, when fucking Phantom Menace came out, oh man, I could go on for days.
Yo, that shit was low key hated when it first came out, but I fucking had that shit on VHS, and I watch that shit 5 times a day, bro.
They don't age well, dog. The prequels do not age well, bro. But I love them. It's just it's my lifestyle.
It's crazy though, but even stuff like that, right? They put stuff out there, kind of in Star Wars and stuff that kind of has some kind of real occult stuff in it too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Disney is one of them who plays with fucking symbolism and emotionally inciting certain responses,
Yes.
And that kind of goes into one of our point. How do you feel about Disney, and what do you think about Disney? Being a Star Wars fan and it's owned by Disney now. I'm a Marvel fan and it's owned by Disney now, so I'm kind of like, do I want to support it?
Disney, I'm gonna be honest with you. Disney has been in power for a very long time. I did 2 episodes on Disney. I did Lion King 1, Lion King 2. Lion, that's like a liar. Lion King 1 and Lion King 2. And then we went in deep not only based on the physical structure of both or 3 parks that we had, but and then on the second Lion King we went deep on the symbolism within the not only the music, the people that they used to sing the music. A lot of those singers are Masons, and a lot of those people are parts of Scientology. And then also not only the music, but the sexual. The sexual shit that they bring in the things. And now that Disney is going woke, it's only revealing itself, dog. It's
seriously,
bro. It's the era of getting revealed, bro. Everybody's getting exposed, bro, and they're exposing themselves. But again, you know why this is happening, dog? I'm gonna be honest with you. Now, I don't pay Disney Plus. I own all the Star Wars movies, and because I'm a fan, I had to buy the 3rd trilogy, which fucking sucked balls. The Skywalker saga got ruined. The best Disney movie that Star Wars came out, and I mean the best Star Wars movie that Disney came out with was Rogue One, and after that it was all fucking trash. But however, the point is Disney does suck. Disney has a lot of occultic magic in it, and it's rooted not only to lie about the moon landing, but it was also rooted to infest your baby's brain. And where are those babies that got infested? I would play Lion King, the first movie, the original movie in VHS, and I burned a hole through that fucking VHS tape because I was so in love with that movie. But at the same time that I was watching that movie, it was also showing me trauma. It was traumatizing me. I was dreaming with my dad leaving, my dad dying.
Low key, right?
Yeah, it's traumatizing. And you never have, there's always a suffering kid. It makes kids want to be victimized and live through that. Oh, victimizing is cool. If I victimize myself, people are gonna love me, and searching for attention and never accepting yourself for who you are and what you are in God and God's purpose. So it trickles down to breaking you in a very young age, and that's what Disney is best at. So you break a child, bro, and not only now. This is happening for 200 years, 300 years. As long as the United States of America has been the capital of entertainment, it has been created to break and create you. Look, I'm not against immigration. I'm against the immigration process in the United States of America. But for example, what's happening now, all these immigrants coming in from all around the world. I'm a product of immigration, bro. I could tell you this I could see it from a lot of these people that are coming in are being manipulated into voting for Biden. are being manipulated into believing that the democratic system is what they want because they're getting a chance to stay here for 4 years and then have anchor babies and then not even go to work or pay taxes but collect fucking money. You see what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
And then they believe, and then their kids are growing up that I grew up thinking that the Democratic Party was the best fucking party until I broke that chain and I became a Republican. I'm not trying to make this into a political conversation, but you see how I was indoctrinated from generations before, just because I'm a product of immigration and my family believes that these people are better. They don't see through the veil, but I do. You see what I'm saying? I'm gonna break that habit. So again, going back to Disney is created to indoctrinate kids to a certain way of believing, and whoever has more money is the person that's gonna indoctrinate your kids. Whatever corporation has the most money to buy out the fucking narrative is what you're gonna believe in.
Yeah, man, and
sorry, that was a deep rant.
Disney has their hands on a lot of fucking sources. You know what I mean? ESPN, Fox.
ESPN,
another thing I was
sports.
Yeah, another thing I was saying, bro, is like Danny and I kind of realized this too. There's a lot around the time when the grooming stuff came out with Disney. Fox was the main narrative that was kind of talking against Disney, and we were like, wait a minute, didn't Disney buy out Fox? So they're even controlling the.
Wow.
They're controlling the fucking it's controlled opposition, bro. You know, as long as you're talking Disney, we're in the database, we're in the Akashic records. You know what I'm saying?
Cool, you know, now
you just blew my mind.
They have the people that are against it watching, and then they have the people that are for it watching. It's like,
just
give
watch.
Me your money. Give me your money.
Watch. Yeah.
If you fund both sides of the war, you don't lose. Dog, this is what Hitler said. Hitler said, and I'm not trying to quote this guy, but it's the truth. He said the gods of war have shifted sides and turned the tables on me because they were also funding the Allied nations. This is absolute fucking craziness, dog. Insanity.
Bro, isn't that crazy? Like it's a repeated play of the elites to whoever their front man is, they kill him and they turn them back on him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah. Hitler's an interesting rabbit hole, man.
That's another
man.
Let's try to keep the cave. Let's keep going back to the other cave. There's so many caves now, bro.
Right?
Hey, I'm gonna put a rock here. We'll come back here later. Make sure we work this one. No, but now you're right. I mean, think about this, bro. Like you're watching news, you're watching Fox News, you're watching ESPN. After that, you watch Kenobi. You know what I mean?
Which I fucking loved.
Which was badass, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're talking about cold water and shit on your podcast, and sometimes there's some blue pill activities that you know you just gotta.
Oh, okay. Well, look, even that, bro. You think I'm not a cipher? Look, dog. Look. Listen to me, dog. Listen to me. Check this out. I might be a deep fucking conspiracy theorist, dog, with pride, but sometimes, bro, drinking a brew, popping a blue pill, eating some fucking fake steak, and just relaxing the shoulders, bro. It keeps me sane, dog. It keeps me sane. I just cracked open a bag of hot Cheetos yesterday, and I'm not supposed to be eating hot Cheetos because of my diet, because of my health. But I ate a hot Cheeto bag yesterday. Now, you know what? I was raised on the hot Cheetos. Do you know how many good memories I have eating hot Cheetos and cup of noodles as a kid?
That's programming, bro.
No, yeah, I know, but you know how many good episodes of fucking Recess or episodes of like fucking Pokemon I had when I was coming up, bro. Eating a hot Cheeto bag, and I was just reminiscing when I was eating a hot Cheeto bag, like, oh fuck, all this shit, you know, it made me feel great, bro. I know it's programming, and I know I'm not supposed to like it, but something getting plugged in, fool. I know, but I'm a victim of that, bro.
That's me with microwave pizza, man. Just think about sitting down watching Rugrats and Doug.
Rugrats.
Straight up, man.
You guys are awesome, dog. You guys are awesome.
But see, bro, like what we were indoctrinated in that when we were kids. Now think about this: when you go to Disneyland and you see people with passes as babies and strollers going to Disneyland and getting raised in that land, bro. Like, think about like we're saying, and another point we made previously on the podcast is when you start waking up, and you know this, when you wake up to the conspiracy theories, there's a lot of spider webs you need to take out before you even get clear. You know what I mean? So imagine as a kid, like, well, you're good here, eat some candy, you know what I mean? And you introduce him to sugar and like artificial sugar and get him hooked on that and cause a dopamine connection to, if I'm good, I can get candy, you know?
Or if you don't go to sleep now, the boogeyman's gonna get you under the bed, a fear mongering. You see what I'm saying?
That's true.
Bro, I'll be transparent. I used to lose sleep and sweat in bed thinking the fucking boogeyman was gonna get me, or some fucking Filipino fucking.
And now you look like the boogeyman.
Look what happened, bro. I'm a product of my environment.
Word. Yeah, it's programming, dog, to its finest, dog, and we're all in it, bro. I think we're all in it, bro. Look, dog. All you could do, bro, like I told you guys in our conversation, all you could do, you can't make the world around you change, bro. You could only change how you perceive it. And you mentioned that shit. That was your line, dog, and I just emphasized on it. I amplified it. You could only change the way you perceive the world, bro, and how you act and how many people you change. It's not about life is not about how much money you make. It's not about how many kids you have or how many bad deeds you did. It's about how you impacted others, bro. You know, it's not what you can say. Absolutely. I mean, it's not what you could say. It's not what you can prove. And if you could be the best doctor in the fucking planet, the best lawyer in the fucking planet, but if nobody knows you're the best lawyer in the fucking planet, you ain't shit.
Yeah,
that's all it is. That's all it is, and that's how life is. And that's not a human construct. That's just nature, bro. It's just there's you have to take pride in what you do, and wake as many as people as you can. Not keep them woke. Wake them up to the reality of shit. Make them challenge their reality one episode at a time. You guys are doing it. You guys go to deep talks and sometimes take it away from conspiracy and have a break. I have a break on conspiracy theories. We go into serial killers sometimes because we're like, fuck the media, fuck the bullshit. Let's do something different, right? And we keep it paranoid. So it's like, it's okay to break a habit of just being conspiracy theorists, because then you become a crazy ass and then you'll lose yourself eventually, bro. But the point is to wake other people up, and as long as they get to go to a search bar, take 5 more seconds of your fucking time, go to a search bar and type in something different, you'll get a different response. Don't let Google tell you what to think and what to look for, and don't let the media tell you because they're all the same company. Just take 5 more minutes, 5 more seconds of your time to go to a search bar and type something different, and you'll see. That's why we always say hashtag look it up, hashtag búscalo, GTS that shit means Google that shit. We always say that on our show because it's like, dude, Google that shit. Just type it in and you'll get a different response, dog. You know, it's just type it in.
Yeah. Which has me thinking now. Let's talk about something actually we've never discussed here on K Podcast.
I'm honored. Oh, shit. Yeah.
We've never discussed politics on here.
Huh.
So you've mentioned you're a Trump supporter.
Yes, I am.
Told you via Instagram. I'm supporting.
But you're Hispanic. They don't support Trump. That's also programming.
You know,
that's programming. That's programming. 100%. Latinos for Trump.
Yeah.
Lex it, homie. Lex it.
I'm in
Latinos
Lexit too. I follow Lexit.
For sure.
So yeah. And I did the exit, same thing in 2019, 2020, around there. That's when I started seeing things differently. But I'm a DeSantis supporter, but I want to know what are the things that attract you like about Trump? Why are you supporting him again in 2024?
I'm going to start with this. I have to give it up to DeSantis first of all because loyalty gets thrown out the window when it comes to you and your family and what you believe in. Even though he was sponsored and endorsed by Trump a while ago. It doesn't make him. Yeah, it was a business move. And if people like myself, I'm a Trumper. If people that follow Trump cannot see the fucking line and keep their division division, like a line between, make a division between the right and wrong, then they're just cultists. At that point, I'll become a cultist. I need to see the reality. The reality is DeSantis made a decision. There was a business move. He got endorsed, and now he's not endorsed anymore. Now he's going to go against his endorser that endorsed him 4 years ago. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that because now you're making your own business moves. There's nothing wrong with making money and feeding your own and trying to stand up for what you believe in. Now the question really lies on. Too. Yeah, exactly. Now the question is, what do you believe in? There was a question. There was a question that they gave Pence not so long ago, 2 nights ago. What's his name? The guy from Fox, the guy that left Fox. What's his name?
Tucker.
He
got
him.
Fucked up, Russ.
And he asked him, "What's up with the American people?" He goes, "That's none of my concern."
Yeah, bro. That's
ask that to DeSantis. We all know what MAGA stands for, and I'm not trying to be a cultist here, but dog, the United States is in no position to be the leader in no other fucking site of the world, but it's within its own fucking backyard. If you can't clean up your own backyard, if you cannot fucking trim your own grass, bro, you're fucked. Over $100 billion to fucking Ukraine, but you couldn't feed the homeless in LA. I live in LA, dog. You see what that is? See now, the question here is, I love Trump because of what he stands for. And even Trump could be controlled opposition. I don't take that off the table. For I'm a conspiracy theorist. Even that has a conspiracy behind it. Why is it that everybody's loving him right now? And what symbols is he using? Right? But the question is, DeSantis, are you for the American people? Because everything that revolves around you right now still leeches off Trump. If you have any fame right now, it's because even that, Trump supported him, but now he's not. You're even feeding off of that. There's no bad publicity. We established that. So I think DeSantis is using it. It's not dumb. It's a smart move. But I think it wasn't a backstab. I think it was a smart move for him to start his own campaign and push on. It's just we'll see in the next couple of years, in the next couple of months where he's at mentally, and again, hopefully he's not controlled opposition within the same party of the Republicans, because there's some Republicans that have no backbone, bro.
No, I understood, and I get it. The thing I like about Dantas is that what he says, he gets it done. He's that kind of guy, and I really think that he's for the people. He's one for the people. As you can see, in 2020, he was when everyone was in lockdown, he was one of the first states to open back up, within a month and a half. He's fighting the big pharmaceutical companies. He was all for alternative therapies in COVID instead of just going straight for the jab or respirators and such, I
mean, wouldn't you though? Wouldn't you know in the climate of the setting that you're in, you kind of know your audience, you know what I mean? So you'd obviously try to do that.
Well, I mean, but it not just the audience, but I mean, what he did. I mean, I'm in California, and the shit that hit me in a good way. I was like, damn, someone's actually standing up for people and not locking down businesses where he's all like, no, we're free to do what we want. You make that educated decision for yourself. And if you want to open your restaurant, we'll open your restaurant. If you guys want to go eat, go eat. That's on you.
As a previous Democrat, what do you think about Kennedy Jr.?
I actually, he's another, to be honest with you, another viable candidate that I thought about. I mean, he's still a Democrat at the end of the day, but there's that saying, if you want to implement your own policies, if you're a true conservative and want to implement conservative policies, you have to run as a Democrat and get voted in, so that way you can come in and do the things you want to do. And that could be something he's doing. I mean, his family has great history and background of politics and fighting the system, and he's like that too. And he's also, I wouldn't say, he's anti-vax completely. I'm not fully completely anti-vax. I'm just against the COVID jab. That's just me, and everyone should make those decisions.
But you can't be that.
It's funny how the Democrats they fight about conservative states, but they're not afraid of putting their business in conservative states and leeching off the conservative states for their products. Right. It's kind of like, it's a money grab, bro. It's all about money. Where the money is at is where. Have you ever seen the movie The Campaign?
No, I have not.
I haven't.
With Will Ferrell? Yeah, it's a stupid movie. It's a funny movie, but watch it. There's a message there. There's a message. The Chinese man tells Will Ferrell, but it's impossible for you to rig the elections. American elections, the democracy in America, it's intact. And it goes, nothing's intact if you know where to put the money at.
No, exactly. So, for example, here in California, ballot harvesting is legal. Why the Republicans aren't doing it is beyond me. I'll say that. We got to use the system in our favor to make it work. And the one thing I see about Republicans is that a lot of they're reactive, but they're not being proactive. They just see something, and then not only that, then react 20 years later. It's terrible. So, but I get what you're saying with that topic there.
We are, have you ever heard the fucking saying that women, if women, God gave women breasts, but they go get implants. They give them ass, they go get implants. They give them a face and they go put on makeup. Women are never happy, right? Same with humanity, bro. It's the same thing with humanity. We're never gonna be happy, and as long as there's a division, which is they don't want is for us to unify. As long as there's a red and a blue division, and we can't see between the lines. Even me myself, I'm a Republican, I'm a conservative, and I'm a Trumper. But I also keep that fucking gun on my desk where I say there might be a conspiracy theory here that I'm gonna have to shoot at. You see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Even with my own party. So you have to be able to be open-minded and not let the division keep us away from having respect for each other and coexist. See what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I think that's why for the longest time, I mean, I was Democrat. I did vote Obama in 2012, but after that, I was libertarian for such a long time because I saw both sides. You know, I was all like, I support gay people growing their weed plants and they could defend it with guns. You know what I'm saying?
That's awesome. You got best of three worlds.
That's what I'm saying. You know, so but then as 2020 hit, that's when things started, and me living in Southern California, LA County. It makes you question things like, what the hell is really going on now? And then it had me thinking, I'm like, you know what, maybe I should just go on one side now that is trying to fight instead of just being a libertarian. And I was really sticking to my my ideas, but it's like now it's like, okay, should I stick to my ideas in a non-losing and in a fight that probably has a chance of never winning, or should I just join a fight that has a chance, but it's politics, man, and I don't know.
I will say there is better candidates now than there were back when it was just Trump and Hillary. You know what I mean?
I agree.
And when it was Trump and Biden.
And there's a lot more eyes on it because I voted for Clinton in 2016 against Trump. Wow. And then it took 2020 and the whole pandemic to snap me awake and really do something about at least my immediate life. And I'm gonna tell you guys something. There's only you can't do much against these politicians. You can't do nothing against the federal government. You can only do whatever's around you. So you want to make a difference, you need to go to your local states, to your local government, to your city council. You can't do anything on a federal level because we ain't nobody to them right now. We're just a fucking number. You want to make a difference, you start in your fucking city. You start in El Monte, California. You start in San Diego. You start in LA. You start in Huntington Park. You start in Baldwin Park. You start in Bakersfield. You start within your own city.
Ballot harvesting. That's exactly what I'm talking about. It's legal. We can do it. So we have to take advantage of it. Here in especially in California.
California's got the shit.
Yeah, but let me just say, like, I'm asking myself, why don't I like Trump moving forward? I liked what he did in 2019. I gotta say, I didn't vote for Trump, but I lived my best years in the Trump era because I was prospering. But I would say it's just the things towards the end of his term is what made me start questioning, and the things he talks about, where he calls himself the father of the vaccine, where he says it's the greatest thing achieved in the history of mankind. His cabinet, he hired ex big pharma CEOs, did favors, I guess, for other politicians, took recommendations from politicians to hire.
He pardoned a lot of bad, evil people too. Yeah, I'm just
aware of that. He did a lot of good things. I'm saying that, like, there's nothing going to take away. His foreign policy was great because, no wars were started. We had peace, North Korea and Russia and things like that. We were on good terms with them. So his foreign policy was on point. But it's just the things, like I'm saying, at the end that started me questioning things. And now, I'll be honest, I think he's fake now in a way, that's why it has me thinking, DeSantis in a way is like, seems more real for the people reach out to him, like he'll respond. He's fighting the cause, the grooming and everything that's happening. Like he's actually doing the people are reaching out and he's responding. But I'm not gonna lie, come that's just the primary. Come general election, if Trump's the nominee, he has.
I'll say this, bro. And I'll wrap this up. We're big fans of pro wrestling, bro. And I watched this shit like I watched
this is true.
WWE. Trump is a wrestler with a gimmick, you know. DeSantis is a wrestler with a gimmick, and it's all controlled opposition. You know what I mean? You don't think they like slap hands after? You know what I mean?
Business
Try to
moves,
fuck each other over
No,
after.
there's that
This
too,
is just
for
like the
sure.
medical field where like obviously you do what you can to try to get the most success for you at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you go past your morals, and with this thing where you promise a lot of shit for the people, like let's be honest, 80% of politics is false promises. You know what I mean? You talked about the Democratic Party and immigration, like their hook and bait for that is false hope, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they
Absolutely.
always come because they're so hopeful, but really they're thriving off of like being upset, you know, disappointment. Like that's 80% of what they're feeling. And then the 20% is such an appeal for them that they go and bite the bait. You know what I mean? So it's crazy, man. It's almost a show. And as far as
It is a show.
the election goes, let me give you a
Programming.
spoiler alert, bro. Even though we have great candidates with Kennedy, Trump, DeSantis, spoiler alert. Right here in the Cave Podcast, you hear it first. Biden's gonna motherfucking win, bro.
Nah, no. Trump is inevitable. I can't do this.
No, bro. We didn't get the spoiler leak of him, you know, something happening to him and Kamala taking over. I think we'll get that in season 2. You feel me?
Yeah, I'll believe that. Homie dying, homie falling and dying because he always falls. Yeah, maybe.
He'll need the second
Watch
term
out,
for
Jack.
Kamala to own it. You know what I mean? Kamala will take the second term over, I think.
Absolutely.
But yeah, man, and just to kind of wrap it up, as far as like symbolism goes, even the fucking red hat became a sigil symbolism. You don't even care about what the hat says. If you see someone in a red hat, you're like, oh, wait a minute, are you kind of MAGA? You know what I mean?
And what's wrong with being a MAGA? I'm saying, what's wrong with being MAGA? Why don't you want America first? That's my question, dog. Look, I got hit up in a couple of times in LA. Oh, MAGA, you're a racist. Like, no, that MAGA doesn't stand for racism. It stands for my health first, my body first, my babies first, my backyard first. So that's what it really stands for. Well, but I mean, people.
It's like I said, what we did. You're hacking the symbol kind of, and you're bastardizing it to make it what you want. You know what I mean? So Trojan horse, man. And you know what I mean? Like that's why you get paranoid.
Paranoid Radio.
Trebles Garcia from the Paranoid Radio, man.
That's right.
Trebles,
Thank you guys for having me.
Where can the people find you, man?
You could find us
outside the cave.
That's outside of the cave. You could fucking search on paranoidradio.com. Go ahead and hit the fucking the button, the little fucking search bar, and put paranoidradio.com, and you'll be able to find not only the people that we collab with, but also our weekly show every Wednesday night. And we also have Flashy Fridays. Shout outs to every single person that has collaborated. Shout outs to all of your fucking listeners. Shout outs to Jesus Christ, and shout outs to you guys for keeping us here. Paranoidradio.com is a weekly podcast, and it'll rock your fucking world, challenging your reality one episode at a time. That's right. Make sure you drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Helps other people enjoy the show as much as we enjoy making it.
Hell yeah, baby. Danny, any closing remarks? Who are we voting for, bro?
It was just a
Vote
pleasure.
for Danny.
You know? Yeah,
Vote for Pedro.
Hey, that's so meta. You don't even know, bro.
It may not look like it, but my real name's Pedro. So
For sure.
No. Just want to say thanks for coming on the show with us, talking, opening up, discussing, keeping an open mind. And you see how we were able to all of those that were watching this, you see how we were able to discuss, and we weren't mad at each other. We didn't start insulting each other about, you know, especially in the political talk.
Oh, shit.
That's how it should be. This is exactly how people should be conversing with each other, exchanging ideas, open your minds up. And, you know, the world
I took
is
my
full of
hits.
possibilities.
I took my hits. Trump. Yeah, did you said some shit about Trump that I didn't like? We're not personally, but hey, it's truth, unfortunately, and I had to face it.
And you did too, you know, talking about the decisions, how he was supported, and all that stuff. So exactly, that's give and take, but you know, we grow and we learn like that.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me, guys. Thank
We
you so
did
much.
make new tunnels into the cave, but bro, before I sign off, since you're a big Star Wars fan, I posted this clip and I got a lot of heat for it, bro.
Let's see.
Ray versus Mace Windu. Who the fuck you think wins that 1v1?
What the fuck?
Bro, come on,
What the
dog.
who? Okay, who and who? Repeat that. Ray who?
Ray versus Mace Windu. Be honest, dude. Be honest. Based on the Star Wars lore, I know.
Okay. Now I have to take in consideration that these last 3 movies are part of Star Wars.
Palpatine, bro.
It's a Palpatine. Fool.
Yeah.
Palpatine was a great duelist, but he was even greater force wielding. If she's a Palpatine, force wielding, without a saber, she'll rock his world. But with the saber, Mace Windu all day.
So in an all-out war, just pick one. No rules. Given that, both have kind of the rage, right?
Yeah, the rage. Well, he's also dabbed in the dark side. Damn, this is hard. I'm gonna have to go with Mace Windu just because I think he's more mature in the Force. She needs a lot more training.
Bet. Respectful, man. I chose Rey, and I got flame, dude. What the fuck? How could you do this? This is blasphemy, man.
But no, that she's a Palpatine, guys. I'm sorry. And she's a clone, which she might even have enhanced powers. You have to give it to this, dog. Every single time there's a clone, there's enhanced powers. This is what happened with, even if Star Killer's not fucking canon, that's what happened with Star Killer. Because he was clone after clone after clone. And in the Force Unleashed 2, when he came out fucking swinging, he destroyed Vader, which is why he didn't make it into canon, because he would have been most powerful.
Yeah, man. And bro, not only was she a Palpatine, she's half Skywalker. Let's just get over it. Let's get over it.
No, she's not Skywalker.
No. Let's sign up.
No. She sucked on Skywalker cock, maybe, but she didn't. She is not a Skywalker. She swallowed.
Peace out, guys.
I'm out, dog.
Yeah.